Hello and welcome to the screening of this year's presidential campaign videos.
I'm Sydney Mayo.
And I'm Emma Saffron.
And we're here reporting to you live on this year's presidential candidates. Go.
Every morning I ask myself, what good shall I do this day? I believe America has lost sight of its moral values in this day and age, which inspired me to write my 13 virtues. It is time to bring this country out of the chaos which we have gotten into. Time to eliminate national debt by reducing the waste we Americans give off every day. It's time for order. With my political experience in the Second Continental Congress and drafting the Declaration of Independence, I have proven to be an effective politician, willing to do anything in my power to bring America back to the tranquil, just, and sincere society it once was. At the end of the day, we must ask ourselves what we have done today to better our country. With Franklin as a president, it will not be a question anymore.
It was time for a change. Our country was just born, and yet we have been through so much together, fellow Americans. We have overthrown a tyrant of a king who would not honor our inalienable rights, as it was our duty to do so. We have fought for what we believe as a united people. We are Americans. We are extremely strong, but we need a leader. Jefferson, a founding father and an accomplished lawyer, is the perfect decision. Jefferson wrote our Declaration of Independence in only 17 days, separating our beloved country from Great Britain. Jefferson promises education for all people, men, women, and children, with his plan for a public school in Virginia. He demonstrated his leadership skill by becoming the first Secretary of State, but now he's hungry for more. Jefferson promises a democratic government flooded with individual rights, civil liberties, and voting rights. Jefferson is ready to take on the country. Vote Jefferson to lead our new, beautiful country to greatness.
In my experience as general, driving our country towards victory in the Revolutionary War, I have proven to be an exceptional leader. My skills, combined with Adams' diplomatic manner and intellect, we believe we could lead this country to greatness. We have demonstrated our ability to work together when we become part of the brothers of the revolution. After the revolution, I used my political abilities to organize the first U.S. cabinet and executive branch of government, as well as establishing the U.S. federal judiciary skills. I plan to employ these skills if elected. Adams and I witnessed the birth of this great nation, and we know what it needs to be strong and powerful. Washington and Adams will bring democracy to all the sirs and madams.
Go.
Our country, like a spoiled child, is completely out of control and needs discipline. Who would be better to discipline that child than its father? The father of the Constitution, that is. By writing the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, and the Bill of Rights, I helped to create the rules which govern this great nation. In fact, many of the civil liberties which we as Americans enjoy today can be attributed to my previous work in U.S. government. But there's no reason for the progress we've made to simply stop there. Just as I thought of the 3 different branches of government, I have many other ideas to further improve the management of our country's affairs. If you want more change and less of the same, cast your presidential vote for your boy, James.
I'm an honest man. Well, actually, that's not true, but I do think I'm a good fit for president. My bravery was tested in the Vietnam War and when I became a father with the birth of my daughter, Kathleen. I believe in the power of brotherhood and written words. As a teacher at Texas State University, I interact with their youth daily and understand what they need as the fastest growing component of the society. I know what it means to work hard and fight for what you believe in. Sometimes the presidential election can feel like a battlefield, but if you vote O'Brien, I assure you that you will come out victorious.
I understand that there has been a lot of controversy over whether I am American or not because of my travels in Europe. I hope as president to prove to you that I am and always will be. I have accomplished many things in my lifetime. My most popular story was The Devil and Tom Walker, the folktale that shaped the outline for all other writers to follow. Just as my tale teaches a lesson through the mistakes of the character, I hope that I can teach the citizens of America many lessons, and that we as people
can learn from our mistakes. I am best known as the first American writer to achieve an international reputation, and now I hope to be known as your next president.
As your first woman president, I feel that the presidential race has become too superficial, and citizens should start voting on what they feel in their heart rather than which candidate has the most money or looks the best. I mean, look at Connie or Donald Trump. Connie lived in a world where all she cared about was her stunning looks, and look where that got her. I think a lot of the problems in our society today could be solved by creativity and finding unconventional solutions. With me as president, I promise to make big changes in our educational system. Classes will be solely devoted to imagination practices and encouraging students' natural instincts. We live in a democratic society where we can look back on the past to prevent us from making the same mistakes in the future. Vote for me for the future of your dreams.
Evil is merely an absence of good. There has been an absence of good in our government for some time. For too long, we humans have committed wrongful acts out of ignorance. We have been a segregated and wasteful society and have forgotten the unity of all living creatures. My name is Ralph Waldo Emerson from the Transcendental Party, and I'm running for president with Henry David Thoreau to bring America back to its roots. As the driving force for American transcendentalism, I helped redirect the American consciousness to the equality of opportunity. In my America, I will bring about a world focused on nature, self-reliance, and a scholarly society. I have Thoreau by my side, the writer who influenced Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. with his best-selling book, Walden, which showed how the beliefs of the Transcendental Party can be applied to everyday life. With me as president, people will be able to rely on themselves and to rely on me to bring this country back to the illustriousness with which it began.
I am unlike any other candidate. I believe that, similar to the ghosts and other supernatural creatures in the world, the ghosts of greatness linger within our country. It has been prophesied that America will rise to the heights that have never been seen before. And I can feel in my heart that this is true. Great presidents can come from strange places, such as the cellar of the Montague Mansion. The American people are constantly in a state of transition, and I would make our current transition one where we end in a better state than we began. If we look back into our history, we can see that our humble beginnings are unfamiliar and yet strangely familiar, as history often repeats itself in an uncanny way. There is quite a difference in power throughout our government, which could make the population feel trapped, almost as if they were sealed in a cellar. I don't want the people's dread to escalate when they think of the coming election and who will be their next president. As president, I will do as much as I can to bring the people into the decision-making by encouraging them to share their emotional reactions with me and advise me on what is fated to happen. Montesquieu, he's the best choice for you.
To Alexei, being an American has meant living a life under the harsh glare of prejudice and poverty. He hopes to change all that by providing financial aid and health care to everyone, but especially those on the reservations that need it the most. Alexei believes that everyone should have a fair chance at living a successful life and wants to give them the provisions to do so. As the successful author of The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven, he shed light on the previously ignored topic of Native American life on the reservation. In modern America, many cultures have lost their roots amidst the racism and forced assimilation that are an unfortunate part of this country's history, a practice Alexei will combat by changing school curriculums to teach Native American culture, as well as many other forgotten cultures. By doing this, he believes that all citizens will come together and respect each other's differences without trying to change them. Although life on the reservation was bleak, the characters always maintained hope, just as Alexei maintains hope from a brighter future.
When I became president the first time, I was quick to start the creation of a better America. My Republican views have long created controversy because some do not agree with my desire for freedom and equality. I will try to gain a better comprehension of the Confederate viewpoint so that I may better serve all the citizens of my country, no matter what they believe in. Understand the importance of slavery in the Southern economy. However, my morals and human compassion led me to sign the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring slaves within the Confederacy forever free. I hope to create a world where former slaves can live in equality as free men, and there are equal rights for all. In my second term, I will end the Civil War and install peace in our new country. In hopes to reconstruct our country, I plan to allow the Southern states back into our Union so we can finally be a unified nation. I believe in forgiveness, so I pardoned all the Southerners. Just as I formally abolished slavery when I wrote the 13th Amendment, I plan to rid our government of outdated and harmful practices and put in constructs to build up our country in their place. For a lasting peace and unified country, vote Lincoln.
I am a candidate who will do anything for my people. In fact, I resigned from Lincoln's Federal Army because I couldn't bear to fight against my own people. My leadership skills have already been proven as I led the Army of Northern Virginia, which was the most famous and successful of the Confederate armies. You may know us from our great victory in the Battle of Chancellorsville, where our victorious attack ended with the mortal wounding of General Stonewall Jackson. My tactical brilliance has been widely praised, and I remain a proud general of the Confederate Army. Although my army eventually lost the war, I took full credit for my mistakes, and I even offered my resignation to Jefferson Davis. I hold myself fully responsible for the fate of my citizens and my country, and I vow to lead you to the best of my ability for my entire term.
I, Walt Whitman, celebrate and sing of myself and encourage every American citizen to do the same. Since we humans are all connected, I vow to install more programs such as welfare so that every person can care for others around them. I support unity in our government above all, and I believe that we cannot function without it. I encourage everyone to exercise their democratic power and to use their vote to make a difference. Just as I aim to transcend the restrictions of a traditional writing with my poetry, I hope that Americans can transcend the restraints we have previously had put on us to create something more resplendent and successful. Some may find my ideas controversial, but just like my poetry collection, Leaves of Grass, they will come to be extremely important in the history of this country. To make America beautiful, we must embrace our differences and come together to make this world a better place.